Okay, so hey, it's MK, and I am back with my little mini album that I had, a folio album, I guess is what it's called. It's not so mini once I have everything in it. So this is part 3. I have all of the material in a bag that I wanted to use inside here. So this is all of the scrapbooking stuff that I wanted to use. And then I have all of the like ephemera, or I don't know what they're called. Is it memorabilia or is it ephemera? And what is the difference? Please. I don't know what's going on with my lighting. I could close the curtain, but then I feel like I'm closing myself out. I don't know. I need the light. So if this is annoying, please let me know and I will close the curtain on the next video, I promise. So where am I at with this album? And then I went through and decided what did I want where. And that was the main huge decision that I needed to get off of my chest and figure it out. And so that's why this book looks so big and bulky, is because I just stuck like all of Boston is here and here. And that's how I have it. I have Boston's like little tickets and things right here. Photos. I glued one down just to see if I liked it hanging off over here, but you really can't see it. I have a bunch of other tickets and things that I really did want to glue like up on top of this pocket and then have things inside the pocket. Over here I have things, but I stuck them all inside this pocket. And so that's why everything looks like really bulky and really like smushed in here. Same with the Empire State Building. She didn't get very good pictures of it, plus she lost a lot of pictures. So I have things just kind of stuck, sorry, just stuck in here, you know. I have more photos that are stuck in these tension pockets. A couple other photos that I wanted to like adhere down on this flap. The Statue of Liberty, so I went through and kind of pulled out all of my favorites, but I'm not really sure exactly how this is going to go just yet. And then of course I have more in this tension pocket. So loads of things that I want in this album, and I just separated it by flip and flap. I haven't done anything yet. I just kind of sorted it through to see what all I had. Like, now that I know where I want everything, I think what I want is to start in the middle. And sorry, this here is all Washington, so I've got New York on one side and Washington on the other. But I think I want to start in the center, and I have like her visitor's map of when she went to, oh, what's it called? This, Mount Vernon. So I have all of this from when she went to Mount Vernon inside this one little pocket, and I have other things, blah, in this pocket. Hopefully I didn't lose any more photos. Hang on, sorry. Okay. And then I've got more things inside this pocket when she went to go to Ford's Theater. So I have this, and then I have this, and like I said, once I figure out how they're all gonna go, it won't be so bulky. Honestly, it won't be that bulky. I just need to figure out where to start, honestly, and get going. And so I wanted to walk you guys through this because this is one of my projects in progress. Yeah, so I'm gonna do Ford's Theater and Mount Vernon with you guys. I have a visitor's map that I think will end up in like a pocket right here, so it will come out, and then she'll be able to flip through it, because this book, if I would have known she was going to bring home all of this stuff, because I made this album before she came home, and I thought I wanted it to be I wanted it to be a surprise. And if I would have known she was going to bring me things like this, I definitely would have done a 12 by 12 album for her, because this would have just looked amazing on a 12 by 12, and then turn around and have all of her really awesome, like, look at these photos, awesome what she has. And this would have been an awesome 2-page spread with an insert. But I'm forcing myself to use what I already made out of this. I might actually do that. I might. Oh, it opens again. Oh my goodness. So this is amazing. This really, really is amazing. And I'm not really sure if I want to like glue this part down, because that will still fit in this bit right here. But I don't know if she wants to read any of this ever again, or know about, you know, this stuff. But if I glue it down like this, it will still fit inside the pocket, and then she'll be able to open it once and then open it again if I just glued one side of it down, right? And she'll still be able to read about the highlights and stuff. There'll just be one little or two little flaps she won't be able to read. I'm not really sure yet, but I do know I want this to be out and about. But how do I do that? So maybe I'll glue the centers and have it fold this way. And I'll glue the center, because this is just about the tours and stuff. So maybe I'll do it this way, and then she can open up the map like this, and then again open it up. Enough said. I'm gonna get going on all of this. This is a project. I have more other projects, so this one will kind of be an off and on type thing for me, and hopefully the lighting over here won't always be so bad. So if you guys don't mind, come along, and I'm gonna work on this one right here, this Mount Vernon. And if it's not too long, we will do Ford's Theater. If not, then the fourth edition, the fourth section of this, part 4 will be Ford's Theater. So this is what I'm going to be working on. I know my dimensions. I know my dimensions are going to be, I don't mind it being that tall. So we'll just say 10 inches. Okay, leave it fair. 10 inches by 8 1/4, so 10 by 8. We'll just say it that way. Okay, and my little visitor's map is 8 inches, so that's perfect. So 10 by 8, let me write that down so I don't forget. That way, when I move this out of the way just to work on this, I know that I'm working on a 10 by 8. All right, let's get started. Okay, I have a huge mess on my desk, and I don't even know where to start. The first thing I did was I backed all of my photos with this white photo placement cards, right? I just went ahead and did that right off the bat. Then I remembered that I had a Paper House paper pad. It's this one right here, Let Freedom Ring. That's the paper pad, looks like that, from Paper House. And I love it because you don't get a whole lot of papers, but you get a whole lot of like embellishments like this, or pocket cards, or whatever you call them. There's loads of gold and silver and copper in here. So like here's a copper page. So it's not limited, like here's silver. I love it. And then it repeats, I think 3 or 4 times, which I even love more, because when I do my 2-page spreads, having doubles of those helps. Okay, then I also, sorry, made a mess. I also pulled out a couple, like these are the only, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but these are like the only like American, I don't know what you call this, Americana stickers that I have. But I have these thickers that I thought I would spell out Mount Vernon some way, because I'm out of ends. I already put sticky tape or score tape on the back of my map that I'm going to have here. And please hold. Sorry about that. I have no idea where I left off. So I cut up one of the pieces from the paper pack from Paper House. I put score tape already on the back of my visitor's map. I picked out some stickers so I can put Mount Vernon on this little page. I cut a piece of black cardstock that I had in my stash down to 8, I think 8 1/4. Yes, 8 1/4 by 10. And then I cut this an 1/8 of an inch. I cut this brick an 1/8 of an inch smaller all the way around, so it has a little black border on it. I put photo placement cards behind all of my photos. I pulled out 2 of these, so this one will go on the back of this black and protect these photos that will go in and out of the pocket here, and this one will go on this side like so, and it will protect, so it'll be laid in like this, so that way it'll be like a closure little bit like that. I have these pieces here that are from my original book. I cut off a piece from this one that was with all the photos to begin with. I had this hanging around, so I planned on putting this in as a pull tab. And then last but not least, inside here, I have some photos. Like I have a portrait, a photo of a photo of Washington. This came from the paper pad. These also came extra, so this was a scrap that I had with all of my other papers. That's what this is. And then I took 2 photos, and I just plan on putting them together like so inside this piece here. And then that way I can use these guys as a backing like this, and then I will back them with these pieces of paper and this one here to make an 8 by 6 piece of paper. And then I'll have Washington and this little portrait or patriot symbol right here. I like how it has the 13 colonies, or at least I'm assuming that does. And then I also, where did it go? I don't know. Also have, sorry, this right here. Another Paper House little thing that I pulled out, and it has the statue of George Washington. So I thought that that was pretty cool. I also found this piece of the statue of George Washington as well, and it's got the really cool Liberty going across it, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this anywhere on here. I also have these little, like, I don't even know, dazzles? I don't even know what they are, but they're massively old. I have silver and I have gold, and I think because the stars are silver, I might just do silver. But I was thinking about this border strip right here. You guys can't hardly see it. This little border right here, to seal the gap between the cardstock and the print. So I'm going to put it together how I already see it going, and then I will figure out the ins and outs of it once I get there. Alright, let's go to fast forward. Wow, that was quite an introduction. I'm not really sure if there is anything else left to say about this layout, except that I thought that it would be helpful if I showed the process of actually putting it together instead of just deleting all of this and coming back and showing you, ta-da, it's a finished page. Because of all of the inner workings, you know, how's the map going to work? How's the additional actual pages going to work? How am I going to fit all those in? If, you know, people care about that, well, I guess they wouldn't watch if they didn't. So anyways, honestly, I'm doing this recording way after I have recorded all of the other bits for this layout. So I'm going to be a little lost at just be honest with you guys. I'm going to be a little bit lost as to what it is that I actually did, and I truly don't have the layouts in the album in front of me. Go me. So these these thickers, which are like chipboard thickers, are not my favorite in the world. So I'm going to try to use them up within this album. I don't like the fact that I have to glue every single one of them down. I don't like the fact that when I pull them off the carrier sheet, then half of the thickness of them stays on the carrier sheet and half of it, comes off in my hand. And so, yeah, I'm not a big fan. So I don't have enough M's or N. So I'm completely out of N's, but I knew I wanted this to say Mount Vernon. And so I thought that I would substitute some of the N's with U's and see if I can't mix a couple around and see if it looks good, which I think it does. I think it turned out okay. I completely deleted the part of me gluing them down because how obnoxious. Now this washi tape is so awesome. I don't even know what it's made out of, but it's super thin and it kind of is like ribbon, but not the thickness of ribbon. And it's got a texture. I have no idea where I even got it, but I'm impressed with it. So I'm just putting, I think that's our nation's seal down. I don't know. And then I decided to go with America the Beautiful over on the upper right. And I think I was going to leave that little bit at the bottom open in case she wanted to put some journaling. Now, I don't plan on doing any journaling whatsoever. The only type of information I plan on putting in this book is like fun facts of the places that she visited. So here is how I plan on adding these page protectors in the album. I just used score tape on the part of the album that was supposed to go in a binder. And I used my bone folder to actually seal that bit down. But once it stays in the album and it kind of gets a memory of being folded like that, it shouldn't be a problem after all that. So now I'm just working on the other page protector, I guess is what I would call it. Yeah, I'll call it that. So, and I'm just using these two photos. So that way I'm trying to keep the thickness of all of these pages to a minimum. So the less cardstock I add, the thinner all of these pages will be. So that is my goal for this album, is if I can go without like a base cardstock, then I'm good. That's what I'm going to do is go without. Now I'm peeling off these little Dazzle sticker thingamabobs, and they are super thin, so don't peel too fast. I know it looks like I'm peeling really super fast, but it actually was super slow. I just have it on high speed. But all those little curly cues and little inner workings of that that sticker wanted to stay on the carrier sheet or rip off, and so what a pill. I can see why I have not used them. So, and then of course I end up covering most of it up. Go me. I could have saved on that, but if I don't like using them, I'm going to cover it up. I used it. Yay! So, and this is the only thing I pretty much knew what I wanted to embellish, which I have already said that, so I don't have to repeat myself again. And come to think of it, and you guys are probably laughing at me, I think that's Paul Revere. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that for just a minute. I think that's what that was Paul Revere. So, anywho, I am doing the sticky bit on my page protector. I didn't think that you needed to see it twice. So I went ahead and did the first one. I've already put my photos in. I've already done everything over there. It's pretty simple. It's just like a pocket page. And now I'm just making sure it's lined up, because I don't want one above the other. I want them to all be even all the way across. So, and then I use my acrylic block to like rub down the score tape. So here is the visitor's map. and I had all the intentions in the world to reuse up my scraps, because that's just me. It's I can't throw anything away until I'm absolutely positively for sure done playing with it. I know, I need to get over that. So I folded the map to where the outsides fold in instead of it being what they call it, a bifold or a trifold. Anyways, I just basically refolded the map to how I wanted it to open in the album, and I think that this is better because now I feel like it's a little bit more reinforced. And I did have to do a bunch of Frankensteining, which I just cut out, for that little round bit to fit and the map still fold. So I did do a bunch of cutting and trimming and all that good stuff that I spared you guys the agony of watching. Now, anything that's not going to be in a page protector in a mini album, I do recommend either score tape, a really, really strong adhesive, or liquid glue. I actually prefer liquid glue, but because of the time that it takes for the liquid glue to dry, I don't have the patience for it. I wanted to get this done, and I figured anywhere that the score tape starts coming up, then I will reapply with liquid glue. So now I am determining, I want this, I want this little bit to be on the edge of this brochure. I just don't know how to attach it. So it is the exact same height of the brochure, so it works out perfectly. Excuse me. But I don't know exactly, I don't have a clue how I'm going to attach it just yet. So I have these extra leftover strips that I am going to, of black, that I am going to put on either side of this one flap of the brochure. Now, the reason why I wanted to put this here is to give the opening part of the brochure a kind of little bit of a stability. So that way when you're opening and closing it, for one, it's got some weight to keep it closed, and then it also has the weight on the other side to keep it closed. But then for two, for someone to go and grab, excuse me, I'm sorry, for someone to go and grab constantly, the brochure would have thinned out over time, even though it is pretty super thin as it is. So I just wanted that extra little help. I don't know what to call it. I give up. So that's what I'm adding here. And I'm just making sure that I get as much cardstock to make it super thick as I can, but not too thick. Not too thick. So this is 3 layers of cardstock plus the little scroll bit. So it's actually 4 layers of really thick cardstock. And it does add a little bit of bulk in the middle, but not a whole lot. It's not very bulky. And then I'm going to cut a little bit of this strip off. I love this Argyle print. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite. And all I'm doing here is just covering up the cardstock, making it look pretty. That's all there is to it. And of course I can't cut straight, and I can't glue straight, and I eyeballed everything. So when I go to glue it on, it is completely crooked. So I am going to be using the other one of these little dazzle sticker things and putting it all the way across to cover up the fact that I oofed. And I do like how it does not go all the way down. I kind of like that it just is a little prettiness. And that's it. I am done with Mount Vernon. I hope you will all join me for the next one, and we will do Ford's Theater. Thanks. Bye.